Alright guys, we're back. So, it has been a very long time since I've posted a video. And I just have kind of ran out of things to post about. Because squirrel season's ended. Really, nothing's in season anymore except for turkeys. Which, I don't have any turkeys here at my house. I've gone out in the mornings and listened for gobbles and never heard any. But we have seen some hens, but you can't shoot hens. But a lot has changed around the property, and that's kind of what we're going to be doing in this video. First of all, though, I want to show y'all. My dad has been smoking this turkey for a couple hours. And shoo-wee, does that look good? Nothing like a smoked turkey. And then, for some of our other changes, we have got 10 little chicks. They're not very little anymore, but we have 10 chicks. And adding to those 10 chicks, we have 4 bigger chickens. They're really skittish, so probably won't be able... Well, one's out, but something... It's got its wing down weird. There it is. There's 2 of those, like, grayish ones. And then 2 of those little, like, gold ones. They're not quite egg-laying yet. But we got them a little... Don't know if y'all can see in there or not, but we've got them a little coop set up. It's not the best thing, but it's kind of temporary because when we moved, we left our old chicken coop behind and we had to resort to our old one. So that's kind of why they have a smaller coop. Once we add those 10 little chicks in, it'll just be a matter of time before they get bigger. And another one of the changes to the property is we currently have somebody coming in here and logging our property, and we are going to get a good paycheck from it, a couple $1,000, which should help with being able to build fences, being able to get more animals, and being able to expand the farm more. So that's kind of why we're doing that, while we're getting this logged. Now, it won't really help the squirrel hunting. It'll actually probably make the squirrel hunting a bit worse, but it'll make the deer hunting better, because everything will be more cleared out, and just overall it'll be just better for deer hunting because you'll be able to see further. Now they're really only doing it down here by the house, but yeah, right over there they have a logging truck. Right over there they have a big old skidder, and they've got a bunch of logs piled up, and I will show you all that. But we have a little bit of a change. So all my outdoor cooking videos, I've been doing them at the A-frame. And me and my brothers, we all loved the A-frame. And it was super fun. That was until we had a really big snow, and that snow crushed it. The whole thing came piling down, and the A-frame is no more. So now we have this. We took 20 cinder blocks on the front and 16 cinder blocks stacked up in the back with a couple of logs up top and a tarp. Now there is some water kind of pulled up, but that we can fix. But yeah, that's kind of what it looks like right now. It's not the best. It's kind of temporary until we can dig more cinder blocks out and just make it better. So that's another change. But let's just go down here real quick and just look at some of this equipment, because it's some big equipment. I will say that much. It's some pretty big equipment. So right here they have a logging truck, and now that's not very big, but it has those big old poles on it and that flat deck that they can put logs down in between and carry the logs better. Right here they have a really big skidder, and that skidder they can use to winch trees, pull them, they can push brush over, And right here are some of those logs that they're taking out. And these are some real hefty logs. Like right here, it's kind of hard to tell on camera, but I've got really big hands. That's a really, really, really big tree right there. And that is just taking us right down towards the barn, where I'm going to have a couple of things that I'm going to be doing down here. First of all, is there's this one groundhog that I call Punxsutawney Phil. And Mr. Punxsutawney Phil, it isn't doing much wrong, but groundhogs are just kind of like a nuisance. They just go around, they dig holes everywhere. You step in those holes, you break your leg. It's not fun. And also, we're going to be getting livestock in here very soon. Once this logging's done and we get fence up. There's a squirrel. I don't see it anymore. But there was just a squirrel right there. But the logging so far hasn't made a difference for these squirrels. And really, it probably won't. They'll probably just have to move some of their trees. But right down here, I'll take y'all down to where little Punxsutawney Phil lives. And it's right down here. Right there's the barn. So, me and this groundhog have been going at it. I mean, it's just been a war. It's bad. But there's something right over there. Either a squirrel or bird. I don't know. We'll just keep moving. But yeah, so we've been at a little bit of a war, you could say, for probably the past month. You see his brush pile? This brush pile has made a couple. We haven't really talked about it much. It's just an old trash pile that the people that we bought this house from left. That's really all it is. But right down here on one side, we've got a groundhog hole. And that's not really what we like to see. And then over here on the other side of the trash pile, there is, right there, it's not very noticeable, there is yet another groundhog hole. And ways that I've tried, actually, that's not all the groundhog holes. There's another one. Well, really, there's a lot more. So, right down there, across the holler, over on the sides, there's a ton of groundhog holes. I'm talking like probably 4. And I actually shot that groundhog with a .22. And when I shot it, it was like 40 yards. The gun wasn't really sighted in. I wasn't expecting to see the groundhog there. So I shot it, and it ran down in one of those holes. And clearly, I didn't kill it because I've seen it multiple times since. And there's been a couple of methods that I've tried taking it out. I've tried trapping, which this groundhog, really big groundhog. So if I can set the trap off, there we go. Trapping hasn't worked, so part of the reason I'm coming down here, taking up some traps. We got a snare there, and we've had not 1, not 2, but 3 cage traps. And I've caught 1 groundhog that was small. It's not the one that I'm going after, but hey, every groundhog I can take out, that's another good thing. But I took it out in a cage trap, and I caught another cage trap. I caught a possum, and I let it go because possums, they eat ticks and stuff. They're good. But yeah, and then so I pulled that trap up after I caught the possum because it ate all the bait. Then I caught another possum. It ate all the bait, so I pulled the other trap up. And then I just pulled that other cage trap up, which trapping this groundhog's just trap shy, so it isn't going to go in a trap. So I went ahead and pulled them all up, pulled the snare up. The snare actually got pulled down into the hole a couple times, but I never caught anything. I've been coming out here and sitting in a ground blind with a 270 and just waiting for this groundhog to come out, and it has not come out. Well, actually one time I sat with a 22 and it came out, but it never gave me a shot because it had something in between it. There's an old water tank, like a herbicide tank, and it had the corner of that was in between me and it, and I didn't want to shoot through it because I didn't want that to redirect the bullet and injure the groundhog, so I just waited. But right here, this is a ground blind I've been sitting in. It's a camo ground blind. I've just been sitting a chair down right in there, but we had to move it because of the guys that came in the log. It was in the way, so we got to move it back because they log every Saturday, and today is Sunday. And I'm gonna be sitting. Right now it's 5:09. I'm gonna be sitting at 5:30, so probably won't come out with the amount of noise that I'm making, but we'll just have to see. Have to see what we can do, what we can make happen. But yeah, it's a lot of things have changed since the last time I made a video, and a lot of my friends at school have been asking why I haven't been posting. I haven't really had much to post about. Not much has been happening. There we go. We got our ground blind set back up. Not much has been happening. Not much is in season. Squirrels are out. Really, it's just turkeys. But we do have a place that we turkey hunted at once, and I'm gonna actually try to get permission to dove hunt there. And if I do get to dove hunt, we might have some videos of dove hunting coming up. But right here we got a old drink cooler that this is what I've been sitting on in the tent, so we'll go ahead, just pop this through the front window, and boom bada bing. I've got 20 minutes to finish filming this video, and I need to be in that ground blind and groundhog hunting. So we're gonna go down here, we're gonna pick up that cage trap that I just set off, we're gonna bring it up here, we're gonna stack it up with those other cage traps, and I'm gonna probably either move the cage traps, I'll probably just put them up in the garage for now till I find more groundhog holes, more problems. But while we're down here at the barn, there's another thing that I'm gonna do, and it's gonna be partly for a video, partly for multiple videos, but partly just for me. I'm going to be making not one, not two, but 3 pool ponds, and the pool ponds should be pretty fun. I've got one of my friends, Hunter. Y'all have seen him on the channel before. He was in the trout fishing, birthday trout fishing with the boys. He was in that video. He caught the most fish. He caught like 6 fish, something like that. So he's really good at fishing and outdoor stuff. But he's got a minnow trap, and he lives right next to a lake that has largemouth bass in it, and that lake feeds into a creek that just so happens to have chub minnows and bluegill. So he made a dam, him and his brother made a dam in the creek, and we will be going down there once we have all these. Now these pool ponds, it's lagging a little bit, my computer. I'm gonna try to get up to the house closer to internet. But yeah, so him and his brother made a dam in the creek, and they have been just minnow trapping. I don't know why it's freezing up. My computer keeps freezing up because I'm not up at the house. But yeah, they've been minnow trapping. So far, what I heard from them this past week at school was that they've caught 7 bluegill and 14 chub minnows, which is really good. And then, so as you all probably know, based on the 2 fish I just said, 2 of the pool ponds will be, well, one of them is going to be bluegill and one of them is going to be chub minnows. And I was going to put them in the same pool pond and just save a little bit of money, but the bluegill will eat the chub minnows, so that wouldn't be too good. So we will have 3. And then the big one, I am going to be putting catfish in. And it's not going to be a bunch, just a couple catfish. And the pool ponds I'm going to be doing, they're not big above ground pools. They're just the little blue kiddie pools that you get from Walmart or Dollar General or something. But then I'm going to have some aerators in them, and they'll be hooked up to an extension cord. In the barn right here, we got little Maggie girl. Not the best guard dog in the world, but she's so sweet. And yeah, so that's pretty much what's going on. The minnow, bluegill, and catfish pool ponds. This summer, I'm gonna mow a bunch of lawns around our area, and hopefully make upwards of $500. Now, that seems a lot, but it is really pretty easy once you get 5 people lined up on Facebook that you can just set up dates and go just every Tuesday, Thursday, and just go and mow their lawns. Based on the size of the lawn, that's how much you price. That's how much they pay. But based on that, hoping, fingers crossed, that over the summer I can make enough money to do these pool ponds and be able to do some other things too with my money. There's this truck that I really want to buy on Facebook Marketplace. It is $1,500, and we're going to see, me and my dad might go look at it sometime soon. We might go see if we can talk the people down a little bit to 800, 900, 1,000, something like that. And hopefully, so the truck doesn't run, but it's only missing one part, and my dad is a semi-truck salesman, so he can get parts for a little bit cheaper, and he knows where to get the parts. So we just have to get one of those, put them in the truck, and the truck will run. It's an old 2000 F250 or F150. It's really nice, but that would be like the perfect truck for what I need. Just a daily high school, just a truck to drive to high school, truck to drive to work, something like that. But yeah, that'll be pretty good. Yeah, that's really all this video is. Be watching within probably the next week. I am going to do a trout, how to cook over a fire. So if you're interested in that, stay tuned. That'll be probably within the next week. But make sure, subscribe, smash the like button. See y'all in the next one. Bye.